Family, it's your favorite queer radio personality, Anna DeShawn, and this is another edition of Queer News Live. Family, you already know this is Queer News Live, your number one stop for queer news done right. I am your favorite queer radio personality, Anna DeShawn, and we've got another special guest joining us today. Yes, Shelley is up. I can't wait to be in conversation with her because she is out here making history. Like it's just a normal thing to do. Okay. And so we're going to talk about that. But before we get there, what a week it has been. Okay. What a week it has been. I almost want to say 2026 is trash. Okay. It is trash. It is. We could talk political. We could talk economics. We could talk entertainment. We could talk culture. But this moment right here of Dolly Parton choosing to just go on to glory, okay, in this moment. I feel like they're taking the wrong ones, okay? I feel like God taking the wrong ones, but we got Shelley on the show today, okay? And she's going to talk to us about that Jesus and that God, okay, and like what's going on, okay? Because I feel like if anybody got a direct line to Jesus, it's going to be Shelley, okay? So we're going to talk about it because Dolly Parton, what? And I'm just going to keep liking everything I see because I just want to keep the algo feeding me more Dolly Parton. I didn't know, okay, how far reaching the imagination library was. Okay. I didn't know. I didn't know how big Dollywood was. I didn't know. Okay. I knew about her advocacy. I knew she loved the queers. Okay. She was always outspoken about that. I knew that. I knew she loved Black people enough to start the house that Whitney built. Okay. I knew that much. I didn't know how many collabs she had done with Black folks over the years. I just didn't know the reach of her work. And I promise you, I've watched her answer the same questions over and over again on every other platform. And every time I'm not tired yet. I'm not tired just yet of her rhinestones and butterflies and just genuine good spirit and how she chose to live her life. And I think that's why her and the queers got along so well, because she lived life on her own terms and she didn't care what other people had to say about how she showed up in the world. And she, in country music, in such a conservative, right, genre of music and areas in which country music is so popular, those states are red, okay? And the way that they, in the beginning, chose to judge her and she said, never, you don't worry about me. Listen to the music. And how she was just able to penetrate so many different communities. Honestly, it's just really beautiful to see. And somebody's sitting on the south side of Chicago right now in my office, okay? And when I heard out in the street somebody's car blaring 9 to 5 instead of some hip-hop song today, I said, I know Black people get down, okay, with Dolly Parton. So we remember Dolly Parton. We will do that also on the show on Monday because why not? Because why not? So I'm going to have an interview, actually a special breaking news interview with Hunter Kelly. Hunter Kelly is a gay man in country music who picked up a microphone, hosted country music shows, stayed in Nashville, Tennessee for decades, interviewed Dolly Parton on numerous occasions, is writing a whole book right now about a famous country music family. And if there's anybody to talk to in this moment, it is Hunter Kelly. And so I'm looking forward to being in conversation with him. I'm looking forward to y'all hearing the interview just about how many ways she impacted queer folks in the country music scene. Because I think we're only getting a snippet of it. And it's best that we talk to somebody who was there in the midst of it. Yes. And who also was blessed by her being a white gay man in country music. It's going to be a special interview. And I look forward to having it. Now, also, keep calm. Okay. It is officially Virgo season and the Virgo is here. Okay. And Shelley is a Virgo. Okay. And she's here too. So it seems divine. Okay. That we are both going to be on this show together today, talking about the things we're going to talk about. My birthday is on August 30th. You hear me? Okay. And we're going to have some specials coming out because the Purple Tie Affair is coming up. It's that time. It's that time of the year where we get together, we raise money for E3 Radio and this queer news platform that we've been building. Yes. And in this moment, living through this Trump administration, there is nothing more important than investing in our journalism and media outlets, period. Media, journalism is what's going to hold our democracy together. Okay? Fascism is a fascinating thing. Okay? The first thing they want to control is the message. And so it is incredibly important that we keep controlling our message. But we need y'all to do it because the money gone. The money is gone. I just want y'all to know the money gone. And when Black women lose their jobs at the alarming rate in which they have in under this administration, and guess who hires Anna? Guess who taps into Queer News Black women? And so we need you now more than ever. You're going to see more and more over the next month as we lead up to the Purple Tie Fair. But if you're not in Chicago, there's other ways you can support. And I'm just going to keep telling that message because we do need you now. Saturday, October the 3rd at Sidetrack, the Purple Tie Fair is going down. It's the 12th one. Okay, it's going to be pretty special. Now, without further ado, we do have a special guest today, and I am excited about it. I met Shelley at SOS Saving Ourselves Symposium down in Atlanta a couple years ago, and I'm glad, yes, she has made it to the show. Let me tell you a little bit about her, okay? She is a senior program manager at the Normal Anomaly Initiative, and as a Texas native and respected voice in the community, Shelley brings over 2 decades of experience in education and a deep commitment to Black queer empowerment. She recently made history as the first woman elected to serve as pastor in the church's history at St. Peter United, okay? But she be making history all the time. I'm just trying to tell you what I know. Shelley, welcome to the show.
What's going on? Thank you so much for having me here.
Absolutely. I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much. It's good to see you again.
You as well. You as well.
What's going on, Wanda B? Glad you're here. Glad you're tuned in, family. Tell us, send us an emoji. Let us know that you are clocked in for the show today. Shelley, you just out here making history, huh? Let me see what I got. Let me see what I got. In 2024, you became the first Black openly queer woman ordained at St. Peter United, caring for your spiritual calling while expanding visibility for Black LGBTQIA plus women in faith leadership. And then in this year, 2 years later, you were just promoted. And now you are also the first Black queer woman to be pastor at St. Peter United down in Houston, Texas.
Yes. Yes.
Yo, you just out here doing it, huh?
I'm trying my best. I'm trying to be a representation of what we're supposed to do in this life. Black women, Black queer women are very powerful. We are always pushed to the back sometimes. So it is an honor to be a representative here in Houston, Texas, doing my thing.
And I really do take it for granted sometimes, the fact that I know Black queer women in pastoral leadership. As someone who grew up in a church, who was absolutely a church kid, my dad might as well be a PK, okay? I take for granted that I know folks like you, but it is still so rare for us to see ourselves in these particular positions. Was this always the dream? Like, I want to lead my own church one day?
No. Not at all. Not at all. And I'm gonna be so real with you.
Let's go.
I ran from the call for a long time. Literally ran from the call. I knew at 16 that I was called to ministry, but at 16, I'm out here living my life. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, no. I'm not gonna do that. I don't even know what are you talking about. I like to go to church. I like to sing. I like to do this. But dare not step into that role. And then, of course, coming from the background that I came from, Missionary Baptist Church, women were not pushed to the forefront of the church at all. We were doing one or two things. We were either singing in the choir or ushering at the back door. You know what I'm saying? But at 35, 36, somewhere around there, I was just like, you know what? It's time. It's time. I can't keep running. I can't keep running from what I know I need to do. And, I was licensed in ministry at 37, but at 40 became acquainted with an affirming church, because I'm not going to sit here and tell you that being a part of the Black church has always been a winner. You know what I'm saying? Being queer in a Black Baptist church is it was feared. It was scary. It was, you have to reconstruct your faith, because first of all you hear is that you know, you're wrong, you're abomination, you're this, you're that. So it's like you have to reconstruct everything. But at 40, I joined an affirming church. I joined a new denomination of UCC where all of you, you know, is welcome. So I had to reconstruct a lot of things about my faith in order for me to take the journey that I'm taking. You know what I'm saying? In order for me to step in the fullness of who I am, and even for this role, like I've battled a lot with faith, a battle with a lot with who I am. But to be here and to be this representation that I know that I have to be, it's an honor, it's a privilege, and I don't take it lightly at all, at all.
And I know so many of us have had to deal with these battles. Tell me what the battle looked like for you.
Oh, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
First of all, fighting, like, because I knew at an early age who I was. I knew who I was. I knew who I loved and everything like that. So I had to battle at a young age with that, and battling with the fact that I know, I know for a fact that I am called to do ministry work. Battling with the fact that, okay, I'm queer, I'm a woman, and just being pushed, you know, pushed back to no. Well, maybe you need to be a minister of music. You know, women can do that. Women can do that. So the battle for me has been one with church, one with family, people, but also one with myself. And when I say one with myself, I think that was the biggest battle that I had to come over, because I had eaten, you know, I had taken a sip of the sauce of like, hey, you know what, you can't be queer and actually believe in God, or
Yeah.
so the battle was actually, you know, the strongest battle, the biggest battle was with myself, and just really wrestling with, you know what, no, I am, I am who God said that I am. So like just really deconstructing what we were spoon fed and reconstructing who God is for me, who I see God as, and who God has always been. So I think that battle with self, that battle with the authenticity of belief, faith, God, and everything like that. It was. Well, I tell you, and even
Yeah.
now, having to step into this role and step into who I am, it's still it's a constant battle. It is a constant battle, because you see things, you hear things, you know, and it's like, okay, I got to keep those things out of my head. I got to keep that. I know I have this relationship with God, so I know who God is, and I have to keep that at the forefront. Yeah, yeah.
And before we transition into our other conversation, which is supposed to be about HIV today, okay, we're gonna talk about HIV. Okay, we are. But I also, I'm quite troubled by white supremacists, right? Taking the word Christian and owning it, right? How how do you, right, take ownership of this word of being a Christian today without being in alignment with that mess?
I listen. Huh? Are you ready for this?
Come on, give me something, Shelley, because let me tell you, they tired.
So,
I'm
so
tired of
I
them.
am,
Okay.
I am going to rock some people's world
Mm.
when I say this. I do not identify as a Christian.
Come on, tell me more.
Okay. So, and the reason I don't identify as a Christian is simply for what you said. Because what people identifying as Christians are taking that term and they're twisting it. So who I identify as a follower of the way. I follow the morals and teachings of Jesus Christ.
Mm.
So, and Jesus wasn't a Christian.
Hmm.
Okay, so we can talk about that on another episode. But Jesus wasn't a Christian, so I do not identify as a Christian. I identify as a follower of the way. And the reason a lot of people are leaving the faith is simply because of these Christian nationalists. It's because they are twisting what they see and what they read to what they believe. Now, let me go ahead and say this. Jesus said the greatest commandment was to love thy God with all thy heart, all thy mind, and all thy soul, and to love your neighbor as yourself. I said this last week at my church. The reason why we have so much hate, the reason why these Christian nationalists are hating is because they're not actually diving in to this last commandment, this greatest commandment of loving thy neighbor as ourselves, right? You cannot love your neighbor if you do not love yourself. And this is the reason why there is so much hate. This is the reason why they can take this word Christian because it has Christ in it, and they can flip it and do it to their terms. They believe what they believe in the context of what they believe. You see what I'm saying? So
Yes.
yeah, I do not subscribe. Now listen, yes, I am a pastor. Yes, I have all faith. Yes, I love God with all my heart, with all my soul. Yes, I love my neighbors. You know why? Because I love myself. And I can
Hey,
do that. It's not a problem for me to go out there and even have someone to spew this hate, right? And still love them with the love of Jesus Christ.
well,
Yeah. So yeah, that right there. Your question was, how can we identify? I do not. I do not identify with those people. Those are not the people that Jesus told us to be like. Jesus did not tell us to do that. You see what I'm saying? Jesus said,
absolutely.
hey, you need to love all. And I think that's another reason why a lot of us get twisted in these things is because we do not have the full context of everything. We take what we want and we use that for and against. So yeah, it's really about diving in to what we believe. And if we're going to read this book, right? If we're going to read this book, it's really about diving into that book in the historical context that it was written and in the context that we are living in right now.
That's
And
right.
and you see what I'm saying? So
Oh,
if we just nip all of those other things, every other thing that is said in that Bible, if we just take everything out and look at that one passage where tells us, what Jesus tells us to love our neighbor as ourselves, then the world would be all right.
the
The
world would
world
be
would be
like
fine.
Dolly Parton, okay?
Come on here. Oh, Dolly.
The world would be
Oh,
like
Dolly.
Dolly, okay?
Oh, he took Dolly and didn't
He
take
took
Dolly.
Dolly. He took Dolly. Okay, got the wrong one. 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Come
Please,
on, come on.
please.
Yes, yes, yes.
Shelley. But we also came here to talk about HIV.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
we
yeah.
also came here to talk about the normal anomaly and the work that you all are doing. Now, we just had Southern HIV/AIDS Awareness Day on August 20th. And now, coming up on August 30th, we've got National Faith HIV/AIDS Awareness Day. Can you
Yes.
talk to me a little bit about the work that y'all are doing at the normal anomaly?
Yes, yes, yes. The Normal Anomaly Initiative here in Houston, Texas, a nonprofit organization that eliminates barriers so that we can create new norms. And what we're doing here is we're taking initiative, taking a stand with making sure that we end the stigma and the discrimination with HIV. We want to make sure that we are creating ways of change. We are creating ways where we can talk to our marginalized communities, make sure that we're doing prevention, that we're giving treatment and support in these areas. So yes, National HIV and Awareness Day engages the faith communities to promote this HIV education and prevention and treatment, so we can eliminate that stigma and that discrimination. So what we're doing here, we're just being ourselves out here in community, helping how we help, when we can help, where we can help. We're always here. You can catch us at local events. Make sure you check out the website. We are right now we are creating, just ways of advocacy for voting rights. And again, always our big work is with HIV.
Yeah. And so tell me, how does this show up in everyday life? What kind of programs do y'all have coming up that you want the good people to know about?
So we have our matriarchy program. Our matriarchy program is actually with Black women. Well, our Black women make sure that they are engaging in education about around their sexual health and wellness, and also, of course, HIV, the prevention, PrEP. We have our Project Liberate. Our Project Liberate program is a social enterprise program where we are building up grassroots organizations, helping them stabilize and stimulate, right? So we're just out here doing everything. And of course, our direct services where we continuously do HIV testing. We have linkage to care, PrEP. We have our transportation program where we offer rides to and from
Mm.
appointments for those who are without transportation. So we out here doing whatever we need to be doing.
I love it. I love it. And I love that you're doing it in the communities that need it
Most definitely.
most in
Yes.
this moment. I don't think a lot of people know that Black women are leading in new HIV diagnoses in this moment.
Yeah. 45% of new cases. 45% of new cases are from Black women, and they don't know enough about what they can do. So it's so important that we educate, and that we uplift, right? That we get the message out there that hey, you too. It doesn't matter about being. It's not affecting the queer man or the gay man. It is affecting everyone, and it is affecting our women, Black women especially.
Yeah, I think there's still this stigma that it's just one group of people. That propaganda was so strong, even before some people were even born who are living with HIV today. And it's still so pervasive that this is the truth. And it's just not. HIV is impacting everybody. You know why? Because sexual pleasure don't mean nothing about how I identify.
That's
Okay?
right. That's right. That's right. And we need to get that message out there. It does not matter. Like it
That's
really
right.
does not matter your sexual identity. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter who you are with. You too are prone to this. This affects us all. So yeah, we need to get that message out of there. And that's what we're doing our part to get it out there too.
I love it. I'm glad that you all are. I'm glad you reached out to be on the show. Family, you see at the bottom, we got the website scrolling, okay? Normalanomaly.org. Go there, find out more information, especially if you're in Houston, Texas,
Yes.
okay? If this aligns with something you care about deeply, everybody needs a volunteer, okay? Time, talent, treasure. You got some talent, yo, be a gift, okay? You got some treasure, make a donation. This is incredibly important work, especially right now when the Trump administration is cutting HIV funds at every place
Mhm.
that they can find it, right? And when they do that, we know the most marginalized among us are the most impacted. And so I'm so glad that y'all are doing the work that you're doing. I know I met a couple of the other guys at Creating Change. Another time, okay, Normal Anomaly be out here just trying to get the word out, right?
Yeah.
And help all of our communities stay healthy in this
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah. 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 Whatever
It,
we
it,
can do.
if there are Black women watching this, Shelley, and they're like, but what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to ask my doctor? What would you tell them in this moment?
I would tell them to ask your doctor for an HIV test. Ask your doctor for an HIV test. They're not going to actually, volunteer you to get one. Ask them for an HIV test. Ask them to do blood work of everything, STI test. You know, Talk to them about prevention, PrEP. How and that's another thing. How can you get on PrEP? What is PrEP? PrEP is a prevention. It's 99% accurate to prevent the HIV virus. Ask them those questions. Do not be afraid to actually tell them, hey, you know what? I heard about PrEP, and I want to know is that good for me? So make sure that you are informing your doctor, and also that you are inquiring about these tests that you can get.
That's right. I know it ain't what you was taught. Okay. I know that ain't what your mama said you need to ask for when you go to the doctor. But today, you need to ask these questions of
Yes,
your doctor. You need to do your own research and find out about PrEP. Find out about PEP too.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Protect yourself in all the ways and know that undetectable equals untransmittable.
That's right.
Okay. And if you don't know what I just said, I want you to go Google right now. Shelley, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for just being who you are and bringing the news to the people. Yes, I really appreciate you, and happy birthday, my Virgo sister.
Hey, happy birthday to you, my friend. Okay. We're gonna make plans and then stay in the house, okay, together.
That stay in the house.
Talk soon.
Please.
Family. What a lovely conversation with Shelley. We probably could have talked forever about religion as it pertains to Black queer folks and Christianity or not, okay, or following the way. And I'm just so glad that we got to talk about HIV, the work of Normal Anomaly. Please go visit that website. Go support it if you can. Okay, we are all we got out here. I can't say that enough. Yes, this is Queer News Live. Check out the podcast. Every Monday morning, we drop a new episode. Check out our Substack, where we're building out a queer news platform. It's not just about me. It's not just about this podcast. We've got contributors, and I cannot wait to roll that out to everybody, because it is going to be a place where you're going to get all the information you need that is centering at the intersections of race and sexuality. And so often LGBTQ media is run by white gay men, and it's going to be run by their social location, their networks, and the things that they care about. And so it is so incredibly important that we support a media outlet run by a Black queer woman, okay, from the South Side of Chicago, who is looking at all the intersections and how everything is impacting us. That's what we're doing here. Family, I'll talk to y'all next week.